大家好，我们现在很荣幸的邀请到了 Toposens 公司的商务部的负责人开仔先生，给我们介绍一下公司的产品，还有亮点，还有商业发展各种各样的一些情况。这个开仔先生非常的热情。好，我们现在就开始吧。Hello, Mr. Kaiser. We see from your poster here that you claim that you have a revolutionary 3D technology. Could you explain us what exactly that means to your product and how does it work? How does your product work?
So the way our sensors work is via the echolocation principle. This is the same way how bats, for example, or dolphins perceive their environment. The way it works is we send out an ultrasound pulse, and objects in the opening angle of the transducer reflect this pulse, and the echoes come back. And with an array of microphones, we can then calculate the origins of the echoes, and this is how we can put out X, Y, Z coordinates. So in the end, we get a point cloud. Mm-hmm. This is the output format.
Okay, how precise does it work?
The precision is generally depending on how we set up our sensors. Mm-hmm. Generally, we have a range between 1 centimeter and 6 meters, mm-hmm. and a resolution angular of about 1 to 1.5 degrees, mm-hmm. and a resolution and depth of about 1 centimeter, mm-hmm. from 0 to 2 meters, and beyond that it degrades from 2 to 5 centimeter depth resolution.
Yeah, I see.
Describes greatly. And maybe to add, we have a scanning frequency ranging from 30 to 60 frames per second. The frequency is varying because sound is very slow. Mm-hmm. So if we want to look further out, we need to wait longer, and so the scanning frequency also degrades.
I see. So this is a 3D ultrasound sensor.
Exactly.
You have here.
This is a mock-up, so it's not functional, but this is pretty much exactly how our upcoming sensor version is going to look like.
So this is just a sample. It's not a real product yet.
This is not the real product yet, but it's going to be the real product in very few weeks. Mm-hmm. So we already have the hardware set up and the code ported. We are now in the final tests, and we'll introduce it in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm. And what makes it very robust?
It is robust because we don't have any moving parts inside. Unlike laser scanners, for example, which depend on rotating mirrors, we don't have any moving components, mm-hmm. and thus it is not affected by shocks, for example, or very little affected by shocks. It can also be filled with epoxy, so this makes it quite robust. And as you might know from the automotive industry, for example, mm-hmm. Where ultrasonics are used, you can also encapsulate the entire sensor module with aluminum, for example, and this makes it really robust.
I see. So it's mainly aimed to use in the automotive industry. But besides that, in which other areas can it be used?
There are many.
We see there's a poster here.
Yeah, there are many different application areas. We focus actually on two. One being the automotive industry, where we essentially aim to replace conventional PDCs, so conventional park distance control sensors, with our 3D sensors, which see far more in the close range than one-dimensional sensors. Mm-hmm. And the other application area is what we call people analytics. People analytics, mm-hmm. Exactly. So you might be familiar with common emotion detectors, which activate light, for example. They tell you that there's a person in a room, and we can do this, but also can we tell you how many people there's in a room and how they're moving throughout the room, mm-hmm. and all of this without invading their privacy, because unlike a camera, we cannot recognize a person. Let's say if it enters a room once and then enters the room a second time, we cannot tell you it's the same person. Mm-hmm. This is important, for example, in Germany. You have a lot of issues with data protection, with privacy mm-hmm. rights. So, for example, for owners or operators of stores is a good example. retailers. They cannot just mount cameras everywhere because they want to know what is happening on their shop floor and how people are moving throughout the store, how long they have to wait in line to check out, stuff like that. But they can't just mount cameras everywhere because of data protection and privacy rights. And this is a problem we can solve because we can give this information without invading the shopper's privacy.
Oh, so it's not just a code device, but it also helps to do its job without invading the privacy.
Exactly.
Okay. Have you set a price of this device yet?
So as we have different applications, we have different versions of our sensor. For example, in the automotive industry, in order to be competitive, we are targeting prices below $10 actually.
Per piece?
Yeah, exactly, per sensor module.
Mm-hmm.
But this can also be explained by the very high volumes you usually have in automotive. So this is really calculating with hundreds of thousands, if not even millions of sensors. For robotics, for example, we are targeting a low three-digit figure, meaning it's not going to be €1,000 or dollars in that sense. There is no final price tag for our people analytics application-specific product yet, but it's also going to be in the same range as our robotics customers, for example, can expect.
Okay, and have you already entered the market, or do you just plan to? Do you have already talked to potential customers? Do you already have customers?
We do have customers. Most of them, which I can't name because they're in the automotive industry.
Of course.
But we are a German startup, so yeah.
Which means potential.
You can guess which of our automotive customers are from.
You can name quite a few.
It limits the scope. We are active in that area, and we have customers in this area, also some others, mainly then in the robotics field. And now we are going also into the people analytics topic, and speaking with a lot of interested, a lot of potential customers interested in proof of concept projects in that area.
So your main market now is in Germany.
Yeah.
That's
due to the automotive industry here being quite attractive for us.
Well, I can imagine this device could be very interesting and popular for the Chinese customers as well.
I hope so. Yeah. And I can think so.
Could you also imagine that you enter the Chinese market one day?
For us the question is not if, but when and how. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good to
hear.
So
even though we are only 3 years old, for example, our team is also active in the United States already, and we are planning to expand our scope very soon.
Nice. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Chinese market one day in the near future. Thank you.
Looking forward to.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.